Chris Johnson from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, I knew about him for a while. Connected with a guy when I was living in Oregon years before that, and yeah, he had a lot of Richard Rohr's material, and was just in conversation with him, was learning about it, and I think he gave me Adam's Return, and learned about the rites, and I knew that I guess he was doing, that they were doing them, and found out that there was some in Minnesota. If I was going to be a dad, I wanted to, I don't know, it just seemed yeah, I needed to be up here to be prepared for that. That was my thinking at the time, and I think that's what got me here. I think after being through it, I realized I was probably here for a lot of reasons, and but I'm glad that got me here. This is definitely, it's definitely important to me. I think that week, for me, I learned a lot about myself and kind of where my position in the universe. I guess I can't claim to be like a changed man afterward, like somebody who knew me beforehand might be able to see. But I guess for myself, I could see. Well, yeah, I know what my experience was, and it's not necessarily going to be something that's visible to people. But yeah, it was super significant for me. The day in the wilderness, especially, was really powerful. I was with a group of, I don't know how many, I think maybe 40 or 50 men, and out of that group, I was definitely on the young end, and I think that combined with that day in the wilderness was kind of for me that some things in my life are coming to a close. Kind of, those are hard messages, and I think I was 30 then. I was still living as a boy in a lot of ways, and some men, maybe go their whole lives like that. But I was in a lot of ways still living as a boy, and on the other hand, I wasn't ready to receive necessarily those messages. Some hit home. Others, I kind of think I just, God's got other stuff in store for me, and I'll understand the meaning of those later on. I just got to trust that, because some kind of just flew out in one ear out the other. So
meaning yet to come.
Yeah, exactly. The meaning's yet to come. My belief is that the rites meet you based on where you're at with your life at that point. I brought to the table who I was. I tried not to get down on myself for not having everything there, because, like I said, as I understood, I was young in some ways and older in others. And the seed was planted then, but I just got to trust that the understanding will be there eventually. And by understanding, I don't mean here, but right here, understanding in the heart, because those were messages for the head. I mean, that's for sure. I grew up in like a Protestant church, and for a number of years before the rites, though, I was kind of disillusioned with it. A lot of coming from what Rohr talks about, how the church, the modern church, and my experience of it, was set up to be kind of, you come in and you're given a bulletin with all these words on it, and it's almost like I don't know, there was nothing spiritual about it. It was very shallow. Everything seemed very shallow. There was nothing, and maybe this is part of being, part of the whole men's thing. Nothing there was challenging or confronting me in the way I thought God's doesn't exist in this place, but there's, I won't say that there's not any good in the church. The church is great for a lot of things, just not spiritually for me. Coming from a religious background, in the sense that, I have the Christian beliefs. Believe in the God I believe in is probably, because of my upbringing in the church in some ways, but. Not really, affiliated. I guess the church experience hasn't been a part of my life for some time now. Yeah. I guess the biggest thing for me is, are you open and ready to be challenged? To be challenged in your core. I think when I'm mostly looking at people, and if they seem to just be going through the motions, but they're okay with that, then all right, well, you're probably not interested in that. They're kind of fed up with where things are at for them, and they're ready for something more. I don't want to say deeper, because I just think it's, I really connected with the phrase that Rory uses. It's not a kind of a psychological or a religious alteration. It's like a cosmological alteration. It's the openness is the biggest thing I would look for in somebody, and just say, you seem open to something new, open to something different. Male spirituality part. Maybe there's parts of their life that they haven't been able to connect with it being a man, or they haven't been in the environment or been supported in that, and they're treading water or drowning in that. And so maybe they could be benefited from the the supported presence of here. It's unique. I mean, it's I think that in a lot of ways the church goes a long way to try to create a community for each other, but it a lot of times men don't participate in that, or just get what's the word I'm looking for, get disenchanted with it, because it's usually a community that's supportive of women. It's set up to be like that, and I think it's rare to find a male community, spiritual male community set up to that can be loving and can be nurturing in a way that men respect and can dig into. And so that's huge. Maybe the fellow I'm talking about is missing out on that as well. So that's what I would say, I guess. I don't know.
Awesome. That was perfect.
Okay.
Really.
All right.